What's good, y'all? It's just for Kicks 2 and 2 here, and I'm here with another sneaker review. Today we will be reviewing a sneaker part of the Nike Basketball Elite series. I know I had a few requests to actually review the shoe. Let's get right into it. Obviously, if you're looking at the box, you know it's the LeBron logo, so you know it's a LeBron Elite 9. We got Nike Basketball on the side of the box, the LeBron logo up top, all the regular Nike stuff on the bottom of the box, and the box tag. I'll read it off for y'all. It says Nike Basketball Elite Series, LeBron 9 PS Elite. It is a size 11. Colors on the box is Varsity Maize, White, Black, and Sport Red. Style code is 516958, and color code is 700. This is supposedly, they're saying a taxi-inspired colorway, but Nike already said it's a Heat-inspired colorway. Also, I've heard the Bruce Lee, but I would say that's wrong since that's a Kobe thing. So just looking at the box, you see it is kind of elite to the regular Nike boxes. It is a lot more sturdier. I mean, you could stack a bunch of boxes on top of this one. It has the Fox carbon fiber pattern on the box. If you know about the Elite series, they use a lot of carbon fiber in the shoes. So it has the Fox carbon fiber print on the box. Enough of that, let's get right into the shoes. And what I got here is the Nike LeBron 9 Elite. It is the taxi colorway again. If you know me and you watch my reviews, you know I go straight into personalization before I even go into performance benefits. So let's start at the outsole. On the bottom of the outsole in the white area, you see the LeBron logo, LJ with the crown. This is also another feature a lot of people weren't seeing when they were picking up the shoe, is the actual line in the background, the line with the crown, LeBron's logo. You can't really see it too much because it is all black, the outsole, but it is back there. You have the eyes here, you have the crown up here. One thing I forgot to mention, guys, was if you actually look on the outsole of one of your LeBron 9 Elites, you look really closely at it. I'll tell you the story before I actually point out the actual personalization. LeBron and Jason Petrie, one day while they were talking about the 9 at headquarters, LeBron was doodling and he actually drew the number 6 and the number 9. So what Jason Petrie did is he actually took the paper and he incorporated it into the LeBron 9 4-foot area. So if you actually look in this area right here, it is a 6. See it? And it's also a 9. So 6 obviously for LeBron's number, and 9 because it's LeBron's 9th shoe. It's a cool little feature a lot of people don't notice. And the last and final personalization on the outsole is actual zoom right here in the front of the shoe. It's also on the other one. Usually LeBron shoes, it says LeBron James on them. I don't know why they changed it. So that's personalization for the outsole. Going to the midsole, there is only one personalization, which is on the back of the heel. It says LeBron James. Again, they usually put that in the front of the shoe, but they actually put it on the back now. So LeBron James. And that is it for personalization and the midsole. Jumping onto the upper, obviously you have the Nike swoosh on the lateral side on the carbon fiber. You also have it on the medial side on the flywire. You also have the LeBron James on the lacing, his logo. You also have the LeBron James on the pull tab, which is kind of cool. And you have the LeBron James on the signature, fuse on to the combat boot. You have some more Nike personalization in the back. It says Flywire on the lateral heel. And last but not least, you have on the actual insole Nike Basketball Elite Series. And that is it for personalization. Alright guys, let's jump into the technical benefits of the shoe now. Starting at the outsole as usual, you have a solid rubber outsole. You actually see the injected Cushlon exposed on the outsole. I'll get more into the Cushlon midsole, but this is the injected area right here. You also have the exaggerated herringbone traction over here, obviously in the 4-foot area, and towards the medial side of the foot where you push off for more traction. And then you have an actual textured pattern around the shoe's outsole for more grip on court, especially around the outrigger. You see these flex grooves for natural flexibility when you're running up and down the court, so it makes you feel more natural. Then you have in the heel, you have a Y split. As you see, it looks like a Y. What it does is on impact, it divides the pressure onto 3 different areas, 1, 2, 3, instead of taking one full blunt impact in one point of your foot. So when you see the zoom bag window here, that means the zoom unit is bottom loaded. It gives it a more cushy feeling underfoot. I don't know why they exposed the zoom unit like this. There is no actual protection like a TPU window or something. It is actually just the zoom unit here. God forbid you step on something in the exact spot there, like a pin or whatever the situation, or a sharp rock or something, and it hits that zoom bag, your zoom unit will pop, which kind of sucks if you think about it, because zoom is an encapsulated air unit. So once it pops, that's it. You're going to need a new shoe, and more than likely they won't have this actual colorway or the shoe in stock. Alright, so the zoom unit, it also provides quick toe offs when running point, and that's pretty much it for the zoom unit. Then you have the 180 max bag in the heel. You see it has actual red splatter paint around it. Back on Nike campus, they actually refer to this as a pork chop unit. The reason being is it looks like a pork chop. The basketball specific 180 bag and also the basketball specific 360 bags, they boast about 70% more air than the regular 360 units and the 180 unit. If you actually notice, it is more rounded out than the previous 180 units they used to make. It is also slimmer. If you remember, the 180 units were like double the size of these. And surprisingly, these boast a lot more air. If you also notice, the 180 bag is actually a lot closer to the floor. So the higher your foot is, the higher lever arm you get, the more off balance you are. So with the basketball specific units, they put them closer to the floor. They provide less solid rubber underfoot, and it keeps you a lot lower to the ground. And surprisingly, for a 180 unit, you aren't too high off the ground. Alright, going on to the midsole, you have an actual Cushlon midsole. The actual regular 9 was Phylon. People are asking the difference between Phylon and Cushlon. Cushlon is it's pretty much Phylon, but has rubber additives in it, so it's a bit softer. Adding rubber to Phylon actually weighs down the midsole option. So for example, Cushlon is heavier than Phylon. Now above the midsole you have the actual carbon fiber shank. What this does is it prevents torsional rigidity, pretty much twisting and turning motions when you're running up and down the court, when you're cutting or whatever situation. Keeps you more balanced, keeping the foot over the footbed. You actually see it exposed on the medial side, and it's exposed on the outsole. A lot of people are thinking that just because a lot of the LeBrons, if you notice, the 180 setups with the zoom unit, if you notice that they cut them really deep in. A lot of people were saying if you have a high arch, this would be the greatest basketball shoe for you. And if you're flat-footed, it wouldn't work. That's entirely not true. This has a regular last. When I say last, I mean width. It has a regular D width. It should not bother you if you're flat-footed, just because your foot doesn't come down here. Your foot is still up in the footbed. So all this is providing support. It shouldn't affect you at all if you're a flat-footed person. I mean, you'll feel the actual shank holding your arch, but that's about it. It's not pushing it up. It's not higher than it should be. It is a regular D-width shoe. The reason why this is cut away is because when you put shanks in the shoes, it provides a lot more support, and you don't need all this extra foam in this area. So when you remove the actual foam from this area, it reduces weight on the shoe. So that's all it is reducing weight on the shoe. It has nothing to do with your arch being low or high. Alright, jumping now onto the upper. Since I was talking about the carbon fiber, let's just get straight into the carbon fiber wrap from the medial side all the way back to the heel. If you notice, it's pretty big. It's pretty thick over here in this area, and actually gets skinnier as you go along all the way into the heel. Reason being is because your foot, when you're actually changing direction, your foot slides back and forth in the shoe, and actually needs a wall to prevent your foot from moving over the footbed. So what this carbon fiber does, it keeps your foot locked into place. Also with the fly wire on the medial side, keeping the medial side wrapped up. This shoe does have an internal heel counter as well to provide even more support with the actual carbon fiber wing and the actual carbon fiber shank underneath foot. So the actual internal heel counter is a TPU heel counter. It provides lockdown in the heel. It doesn't let your heel move around. Now going on to the actual upper material, it is hyperfuse and fly wire. What hyperfuse is a 3-layered system strategically placed around the shoe. So you see all these little cutouts in the shoe. A lot of people are saying that cutting out those pieces in the shoe, it gives up support. You lose support, and that's not true. What hyperfuse is it's 3 strategic placed TPU sheets. So the first layer is strategically put for stability, the second layer strategically put for breathability, and the third layer, of course, which would be like the toe wraps. As you see, the more noticeable layers is for durability. So for example, just to give you an idea of how it works, this is the third layer. This is the third layer of hyperfuse. This screen right here is the second layer, which is the breathability option, and then you see the overlays underneath. That is for stability. So then you actually see the actual fly wire on the actual overlays underneath. It provides extra support as like support cables in a bridge. It works in the same way. You can actually see it on the medial side as well. It works really well with lightweight and breathability options on a shoe. Instead of putting like a piece of leather or like synthetic leather or suede, nubuck, whatever situation, put a fly wire and hyperfuse material, really reduces weight. The surprising thing about this fly wire package is it's made out of Kevlar. If you don't know what Kevlar is like the stuff they put in like bulletproof vests. Doesn't mean your shoes are bulletproof. Don't say stuff like that in the comment box, please. But Kevlar is pretty much supposedly stronger than nylon, the regular stuff they use for fly wire. In some instances it is, but nylon could be stronger than Kevlar in other instances. It just depends what kind of quality nylon and what quality Kevlar they're using. If you remember with the actual OG Hyperdunk, the first Hyperdunk that came out that they made for the Olympics that had fly wire and Lunarlon, it was Vectran. It wasn't nylon, it was something they used called Vectran. The reason why they used that is because they said Kevlar did not perform well under cold conditions, so it would be too stiff for whatever the reason, and they went with something called Vectran, which is like in the same family as Kevlar. But now for whatever reason they went back with Kevlar. So I don't understand Nike's reasoning behind it. From what Nike stated and what other people stated, Kevlar does not work great in cold conditions. It feels stiff, the shoe doesn't flex as well. So hopefully this doesn't happen if you play in cold conditions. Going along to the back of the heel, you actually see the second layer of hyperfuse to provide more breathability in the shoe. Obviously your heel doesn't get a lot of oxygen, your heel doesn't get a lot of air flow through it, so putting those screens there was a good idea since it actually has a combat booty inside the shoe. Before we get to the combat booty, we'll talk about the pull tabs. These pull tabs here, obviously even on the LeBron 9, is to keep you locked down, to provide dynamic support for lockdown in the heel. The tighter you tie these, the more support you'll get in your heel. Along with the shank and the carbon fiber wrap and the internal heel counter, your foot should never ever leave this footbed of the shoe. Again, you see these screens here on the ears of the shoe. The only reason they would put this here is because for breathability of your ankle, there is no real support factor in this. These are really, really floppy. It's more of a design feature, I'm assuming, because you can take these off and it will look just like a low. And then you have the pull tab in the back, obviously, to help you put on the shoe. Getting into the lacing, you have 3M laces. The LeBron logo again. They are flat, so it actually distributes pressure evenly across the cone of your foot. And then you got red tip laces, obviously, with the LeBron James on it. Over here, the logo patch is actually fused onto the combat booty, which is kind of cool. I like this a lot better than the actual signature on the regular LeBron 9. Getting into the combat booty, if you have a LeBron 9, you know what the combat stuff is. Actually put it here on the shoe to provide some more cushioning for your ankles. But this time they went with the whole sleeve. I prefer this over them putting them on the ears. It feels a bit more comfortable. It's dry fit, so it wicks sweat away from your foot. Obviously your foot sweats a lot, so being dry fit, it really works really, really well. And obviously when you're tying your laces, it actually provides more comfort, so you can tie your shoes a lot tighter. Getting into the insole, this is a non-removable insole, so don't go home and try to take your insoles out. This one is actually glued down pretty well. If you notice, I actually ripped a little bit off. I had to use a blow dryer to actually warm up the glue before I can even try to remove this. This is a non-removable insole. If you really do want it out, again, the best way to do it is blow dryer and pull it up real carefully. But this insole is single layer ortholite. I'm surprised they didn't go with the double ortholite with a single layer ortholite. You want to learn more about ortholite, go visit one of my tech closets. And then you have an actual a firmer ortholite in the heel. It's a heel clip to provide more support in the heel. So when you take impact, obviously the actual shock of impact will distribute to the center of the ortholite instead of in the firmer places. And then if you actually look on the actual insole, it has a foot pattern. What it is it's a textured pattern. When you put your foot in, it feels like it provides lockdown, like it feels like grip tape, like on a skateboard. It's to keep your foot in place a bit better so your foot doesn't slide around as much. Doing this was actually a good idea by Nike Basketball. It actually does work. Your foot feels like it can't really move around in there. When I put on the shoe with socks, you can feel that it doesn't want your foot to move anywhere. One thing I did forget to mention about the LeBron 9 is that under the insole, you actually have a bed of foam. I know you can't really see it, so I will flash a light on it. So as you can see, the actual gray shade in there, that is an extra layer of foam under the insole. So what's cool about that is it gives you a real nice feel underfoot. If you remember with the LeBron 7, it actually had a 360 unit. And then they went to the LeBron 8. And then people were wondering why the LeBron 8 felt way better than the LeBron 7. And the reason being because of that foam underfoot. There's no denying that it actually does help. That yellow in there is actually from the actual insole that is not supposed to be removable. All in all, this is my review of the LeBron 9. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down in the comment box. Make sure you subscribe up above, tell all your friends. In my opinion, $250 for a shoe is a bit extreme. If you're not going to play basketball in it, or if you're not going to wear it, I suggest you don't spend that $250, because $250 for a shoe comes out to almost $300, $280, something like that. It's a lot of money for a shoe, in particular something that just has added carbon fiber, Kevlar fly wire, and a combat booty. Not worth that what is it, an $80 price increase from the regular 9. But if you like the shoe, you like the color, purchase it. I think it was worth it because I got a discount. If I would have had to pay $250, I probably would have skipped out on it. And if you follow me on Twitter, you probably see my rant when the 9 was first released. I said I wouldn't purchase one, but the colorway actually got me. I won't be purchasing any more unless it may be the South Beach, and that's probably just to trade off for something else I want, truthfully. Again, thank you for watching my video. Just for Kicks 212. Follow me on Twitter at Just for Kicks 212. I give away shoes all the time. I have little contests here and there. Thank you for checking me out.
Party mode and then extra party mode and then
how are you?
it becomes